So let's talk a bit more about approximations. Now, please note approximations are not the same as significant figures. They're close to it, but they're not quite the same. So let's say you have a city which has a population of 500,000 approximately. What does it mean? Well, it could certainly mean that somebody wanted to approximate maybe 450,000 with it. That's certainly possible. They wanted to say one short number like 500,000, and they said uh, 500,000 or 500,000, or maybe the population was 449,999. That would still be okay. There's only a difference of 1% between the two. You'd be able to say the population is about 500,000. But now, please note, if you're thinking about significant figures, if you take the number like 449,999 and you try to approximate it to one significant figure, well, the rule is you're going to look at the next. So you want to approximate to one significant figure. So this is the significant figure you want to approximate to. So you have to look at the next figure, which is this 4. Since 4 is less than 5 to one significant figure, if you were to approximate it, this would turn out to be equal to 400,000. It would not be 500,000, this number, right? So you cannot approximately say 449,999 is approximately 500,000 to one significant figure. So you can say 449,999 is approximately 500,000, but approximately doesn't really tell you what you're exactly doing. But in our common language, we use approximations very frequently. So, but as significant figures, you can clearly see that if you try to approximate 450,000, since you've considered this 5 to one significant figure, this would become 500,000. But when you are talking about approximations, both of them are approximately 500,000. So what I wanted to get out of this little conversation was that you understand the difference between real life approximations and significant figures. In general, significant figures are used in scientific calculations, and these approximations, the other ones without significant figures, are used in our common daily life. So let's do a small example. Let's say we have a calculation like 31.5 plus 9.87 minus 214.5 divided by 106.9. Okay, this seems like a very difficult calculation to do, and indeed it is, and you'll need a calculator to do it quickly. But we can approximate it. I mean, that's what is important. We just want to approximate it. So let's look at the approximation. So first we're going to divide. So I'm going to approximate this as maybe 214 divided by 107, which is equal to 2. I'm going to approximate this as maybe 10, and I'm going to approximate this as 32. So now I have a very simple calculation which says 32 plus 10, 32 plus 10, and I have to, so there's a minus sign here, I made a mistake. So there's a minus sign here. So here's a minus sign, minus 2, right? Because when you approximate this guy, you get an answer which is equal to 2. So this is equal to 2, and you get an answer which is just equal to 42 minus 2, which is equal to 40. Another simple example, let's say we have a conversion rate. Let's say we have a conversion rate of maybe 1 USD, $1 is equivalent to maybe rupees 283 rupees and 78 pesos. Okay, and let's say you want to buy something for $125. So if you have $125 and you want to convert it, well, that's going to be equal to 283.78 multiplied by 125. Now that calculation is painful, but what I can do is I can very quickly make two approximations. I could approximate this as 300, and I could just multiply it by 125. That's one way to do it. But even before I do that, I'll approximate this as 100 as a crude approximation, and I'll get an answer which is equal to 3 with 4 zeros, right? So this is 3 with 4 zeros, so this turns out to be 30,000. Now, if I want to get a better approximation, I can even get a better approximation. This is going to be 300, and I could multiply it by 125. And if I multiply it by 125, I know that 325s are going to be um, 750, 75. So the answer that I'm going to get is going to be 37,500. Okay, so the approximation, but because I know that I've actually decreased, so I've increased 283 to 300 here, so I know the answer is a bit less, so maybe the actual answer is between 30,000 and 37,500. But this is a good way to get approximations to do some real life calculations by doing these approximations.